Back at home, feeling misunderstood, and between these ears ain't nothing good.
What's up, Benchwarmers? It's a special day. We mentioned it on our episode during this week that we were going to have a special guest, and I'm very excited to have him here. I haven't seen him. It's probably been about 2 years since I've seen him in person. We've been talking a little bit because I mentioned he's my trainer at this point, so yeah, no sodas here, no cookies or anything like that. I'm eating completely clean, and I ate a kale leaf in my car before I got here, just for you. But we have Jonah Mitchell of Jonah Mitchell Fitness. Thank you for being here, mate. This is going to be a lot of fun because it's going to be a good chance to catch up a little bit and then talk about kind of your journey as well. And this is your first podcast as well, so thank you for coming on.
No, thank you. I'm so excited. You guys have no idea.
We are excited to have you on, man. I mean, I just met you today for the first time. We've talked a few times, but I mean, I feel like I've seen everything, what you've been able to do and the great program you put together, and I can't wait to learn more about you and have our listeners dive into you as well, because me and Jimmy are not the best looking people, no doubt about it.
He's getting me slimmer.
Yeah, so we just got to get Jimmy in basketball shape so we can run him up and down the floor. So hopefully you're on track for that. But yeah, I'm excited to have you on, man.
It's gonna be a good time, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll mention first why you're here and how I know you. And that was actually I told you before the podcast. You actually didn't know this. When I was getting recruited by Western, you were a redshirt freshman, and I went over to Mines because that's the closest game that Western played to me. And I saw you make a pretty big play towards the end of that game. Eckler, that was when we had Austin Eckler, who's now the running back for the Los Angeles Chargers. If you're just now tuning into the podcast and haven't heard me mention that before, he basically just decided that he was going to win that game. And you had a big play on the defensive end of the ball. You were a linebacker at that point, which makes sense now. If you knew him when he was mostly on campus, it doesn't really add up to where he is now. But that was my first interaction, and then you and I played for a couple years because you had 2 more years of eligibility while I was playing, and you were D-line, I was O-line. We never really went against each other, luckily, because I was on the inside and you were more of an outside lineman. But that was where we first kind of got connected, and I feel like you thought I was funny, which is probably why you allowed me to hang around you as a young freshman. But
you're still hilarious. I don't know where you think you're not funny.
Well, I appreciate that. But yeah. So first off, I just kind of wanted to let you give a little bit of backstory as to what you thought of me, because we've heard what Nico thought of me as a teammate and a friend. So I'll let you. The roasting session can begin, or maybe not. Maybe you'll flatter this lowly little podcast host.
Well, honestly, when I first saw you, and it's not to be throw jabs or anything, but I was like, why are you so small? Because I mean,
shoot!
I'm 6'2",
coming with the left jab right away.
But I think you came in. When you were a scout and you played tackle for a little while on scout, but then you bounced from line to line.
I played all 5 positions because we didn't have Coach On made sure that we had very little linemen.
Oh man, so. Coach On. Oh, let's not talk about Coach On.
Yeah, we don't have to, but Jonah's reaction makes sense as to why we only had 5 offensive linemen at a time. So we were all playing scout team as well. But yeah, I was a 5'11", 6 foot left tackle at one point.
Yeah, so it was that was my initial reaction. But over the years, as we kept playing together, it was way more. I mean, like you mentioned earlier, I thought you were hilarious. Your dry humor, and you kind of walk around with a stone face, and when you say something funny, you don't laugh at it, but that is what makes it really friggin' funny. But anyway, after we went against each other from time to time, I'd go line up on the inside. You fought like hell, and I could see, especially towards the end of my career, I would see the frustration in you for wanting to perform better, because I resonated with that so much. So I would pay attention. I was a lot less emotional for own personal defense mechanism reasons, but I knew, even though we haven't stayed connected for a very long time, that we are a lot more alike then I seem to have let on. But again, defense, offense.
There you go.
We don't really hang out all that much, but still, when I was hanging out with the linemen, it was always a good time to see you. So I've always liked you, Jimmy. It's been a good time.
I appreciate that. Funny enough, when Nico and I first started playing, we were the two biggest kids on the team.
I'll be honest, I love Jimmy to death, but there were times where he pissed me off a lot. I'll tell you that.
I mean,
just because I went up against him so much, and it was that thing where like in between the lines when we were against each other, it was annoying as hell. But when I had him beside me and we were together, it made our friendship so much more.
Yeah.
So I can see where you're coming from a little bit.
I mean, you can't be like friends, especially how long you guys are friends. And not hate each other a little bit, you know.
Every now and then.
Every now and then we could definitely get on each other's nerves, that's for sure.
Yeah, and like we said before, I'm sitting in between two of the biggest causes of my brain trauma. So if I start fumbling words at any point in my life, you guys can expect, and it's funny because it'll be from my youngest brother now, Ed, who we were talking about, but you guys can expect a letter from my attorney for when I start fumbling words, and I'll sue you guys for damages for all the
I have a
the
pretty
head
good lawyer
trauma.
too, Jimmy.
I know you do.
I have a pretty good lawyer too, Jimmy.
I know you do. We don't have to mention that, but yeah,
I
I
pride
think
myself in not using my head, Jimmy.
I force people to use it. That's why Nico didn't like me. That's why I feel like that's why people didn't like going against me, because I don't play anymore.
Well, I mean, when I was in Little League, I used to, every single practice, every single time I put a football helmet, I used to bleed in between my eyes because I used my head every single time.
Yeah.
And most of those because of Jimmy.
Hey, I got the same scar.
Exactly, we have the same exact scar,
Oh,
so we
man.
both messed ourselves up together.
Those old helmets, man. Ugh.
Oh yeah, they were fun. The shuts that when it got cold and you had the little plastic covering on it, it started to cut and it was sharp. Yeah.
I was lucky and fortunate not to have one of those.
Yeah, you always had the good helmet, especially at Western.
Yeah.
I had the Peyton Manning, the old ass giant
Oh,
one, my first 2 years, because they didn't restock on the new helmets. The year that I was gonna actually, I mean, I dressed all the years that I was there, but the year that I actually had a chance to get on the field, they still didn't restock. So I was playing against CSU Pueblo, against their D tackle that actually got a look with the Broncos, and he could do this to me, and I couldn't even touch like his elbow. That's how I am. It's funny because I make fun of myself for being small now, and a lot of people that I come into contact with, especially working just day jobs, like, wow, you're small? It's like, yeah, no. You just see some of the people I hang out with.
Yeah.
Because you remember Tim.
Oh yeah.
Tim's a fridge. No offense, Tim. You're I love you to death, but
He's a massive man.
it's difficult being your friend, especially when you have as big of an ego as I do. You gave me a Napoleon complex, but and that's only funny because he does listen to the show. So
Oh, that's awesome.
shout
Hi,
out
Tim.
Tim.
That's funny you bring that up because I always think I'm a small person because of like we played football, we stood next to dudes who were 6'5" and above all the time. So I walk around normal people and they're like, "You're a giant." I'm like, "No, I'm a small person."
Yeah.
What do you mean? But it's just that weird disconnect from being a football player and real life.
Yeah, I mean,
We're
we
basically giants.
spend 5 years around other really high level athletes, and then we start to think this is how everybody is.
Yeah.
And then I see, one of our colleagues on the network, Ken from the Bleacher Connection, gets made fun of by Trevor because he's like he calls him a little leprechaun, or something like that.
The Canadians also, so that's
what-
the short little guy with and just this little Canadian accent where he says "a" and "sorry" every time. So that's a good picture.
But he's like a grown ass man, and he's 5'8" maybe, and I could never. And I'm saying that as somebody who kind of stretches and says that he's 6'1", 6'2", but 5'8", that's a whole nother level. But yeah, so you thought I was your funny little guy. That's
funny
what
little
saying.
guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Initially, but yeah, I like I said, I think now that we've reconnected, I think we're gonna be pretty good friends for a while now.
Yeah, no, and the reason we reconnected, kind of the reason that we had you on the show, you are my trainer. I am doing your Athlete for Life challenge. I'm probably annoying the shit out of people with posting on the stories, but I need to get those points. And
We annoy the shit out of anyone with our regular posts. So I mean, it's just now your personal account, our regular account annoys the shit out of everyone.
well, now I'm getting up and I'm showing everybody that I'm walking at 6:30 in the morning before I go to work, even though I don't want to. But you are. I'm doing the Athlete for Life challenge, It's me and how many other people?
14.
14 other
14
people,
other people.
and they're all from all over, right? They're not all just in Colorado or.
There's a couple in Arizona.
Yeah, Griggs.
Yeah, it's Griggs, and there's one. Jared's out in Kansas City,
Right.
but majority are in Colorado.
So I'm a part of that group. You put out a post probably like a month ago, maybe.
Yeah, it's
Just
about a
trying
month
to
ago
get-
now.
Trying to get people interested, and I saw it. I'll be honest, I saw it and scrolled past it the first time because I was like, I don't know. What I'll say is the nutrition was always gonna be where I kind of got hung up on because the habit that I had was eat as much as I can because I was so small and try and bulk up that way. So that was where I was a little bit hesitant. But Roxy actually found it. And she's like, "Did you see Jonah's post?" I said, "Yeah." I kind of thought about it, but I don't know. And she's like, "Well, you might as well just like message him and see what it is. You can have it. You can talk to him about it and maybe decide if you want to, and it could be good for you, good change." And I'm glad that she did. I'm glad that I listened to her because it is a pretty good change. I feel a ton better than I did when I was just trying to, just do whatever I could on my own. I like to say that I know a lot about working out, and I can help in lifts and stuff and bump numbers up that way, but I don't know a whole bunch about the science behind everything like that. And that's where you come in. You have your degree in exercise sports science from Western, which is actually pretty impressive now because that school is getting a whole lot bigger, and that program is growing a lot.
Oh yeah.
So that was huge. But yeah, I guess we'll start with your background, and then we'll work our way back to where we got to the Athlete for Life Challenge. So was this always going to be your plan, or when you were a kid, what did little Jonah dream of being one day? And I think that's where we'll start with this.
That's a great question. Little kid Jonah, and I hope to come back because there's plenty of those that are hilarious. Because I just kind of went around life fumbling, not really doing anything that would make sense. But anyway, bringing that up, my mind would always bounce from thing to thing. So first it was an astronaut, then it was a WWE wrestler, which is still one of my top dreams.
We're right on the same boat.
Okay,
So don't worry.
We might have the 400.
We have pretty good faction right now.
Yeah,
We have good faction right
There we
here.
go.
Okay,
And I know it's funny enough because I was a weirdo in high school. My junior year when I couldn't play, I had to sit out, and then I got surgery. I ended up searching just pro wrestling school in Colorado, and the guy that runs the school happened to be a wrestling coach at Chatfield High School.
Really?
And then I saw him at a tournament, and he actually just recently reached out to me. But that could be something. We might have to discuss that in the future.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll have you two be the tag team, and I'll be the shit talker.
You're the manager that walks up.
I'll be the manager, the hype,
You're
the
the
Paul
one.
Heyman.
Yeah, you have the big old brick phone like you used to have. So
Oh god.
WWE, we got that.
Yeah, WWE, and then I didn't get into football until second grade, and then that's where, I wasn't like thriving. As a kid, I was short, fat, and slow, so I got put on the offensive line like all short, fat kids get. But that was what sparked. I mean,
That's what we were growing up. So
it happens, So that's where I kind of got introduced. Football was actually the last sport I got put into. It started with soccer and then karate.
Well, nothing goes smoothly on the far end of the bench. This is why we are the Benchwarmers. But let's go ahead and reiterate just to make sure that everybody understands. Let's explain a little bit of the partnership that we reached out to you initially because I knew I was going to do the challenge and I felt like this would be a pretty beneficial opportunity for the both of us. So let's kind of explain what we're offering for the Benchwarmers that are listening.
Yeah, so we're just partnering up. Honestly, we're both growing brands, and we want to just kind of expand our reach as much as we can. My whole goal is to help as many people as I possibly can. So if you kind of relate to the things I've spoken about, and being a former athlete, or wanting to look like an athlete, or are a current athlete, you don't have to fit that criteria. But if it's something that sounds like it'd be interesting to you, the partnership is really something that's just going to help us grow and improve our experiences together and what we do for a living. So the offer is you follow my Instagram account at Jonah Mitchell _fitness, I believe.
Yep.
And then the Far End of the Bench Instagram, and you tag us and share the post and follow us, then I will give you a free, essentially, consultation, really in-depth one-on-one look at what you're currently trying to do, your goals, your current trajectory, and I'll give you your next 30 days how to really accomplish your goals. I have a lot of free stuff that I give to people that help kind of make it a little easier on them. And yeah, so all you gotta do is follow us, share the post, and be like, hey, I want my free stuff. And then I got you.
At FEOTV Pod on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
And then do you have a Twitter as well?
I think it's just Jonah M Fitness on Twitter.
Okay.
So if you want to grow my Twitter for me, I don't know how to use Twitter. So
Well, I'm here to help you with that.
yeah,
man.
you handed another Twitter.
It's a lot of snark. I don't know. That's why I say I'm successful on it, but I'm just coming off a 12-hour Twitter ban, so maybe I'm not as successful as I think I am. Maybe the snark is not as accepted as I think it is, but
Just watch the words you use, like hate. Hate is bad.
but I do hate the Steelers.
That's a valid point. I hate the Raiders, and now I'm going to get banned on Twitter.
Well,
You know,
oh, that's
I hate
another
the
thing
Raiders
that you
too,
guys.
So
Yes!
I hate the
You're a
Raiders as
Broncos
well.
fan. He's a Broncos fan.
I saw the Romanowski jersey.
Oh, that's
Yes.
one of my favorite Romo. Oh man, I can talk about Romo all day long.
Yes.
We're gonna have to continually we want to have you back. We think that it could be beneficial. Maybe have a discussion about different aspects that you want to focus on, because I think that would be something. Like we said, we're just both trying to grow our brands at this point, and you're, like you said, you're a little bit farther ahead of us than where we are now, but I think we have a ton of crossover with our listeners and the people who would probably be looking at you to get them in shape and everything like that. And it's totally different than a lot of different personal trainers that you could look at, or workout regimens that you could try and start on your own. You fully embrace the fact that your clients aren't going to be perfect. There's going to be slip-ups. There's going to be days where it probably just don't. Either you can't do the right things, or you just want. I just want a soda one day. I just want that little sugar fix, and maybe what I've noticed, because there have been a couple days while I've been doing your regimen, that if I do go and grab a soda, like I'm having a craving for one, I drink like a quarter of it, and then I'm done with it, because I'm almost to the point where I don't have that. I was pretty addicted to caffeine and sugar for a good portion.
I'm still addicted to sugar. Don't worry, that didn't go away.
It doesn't go. It doesn't go away.
Everyone's got a little bit of a sweet tooth.
Yeah, it's a little bit of sweet tooth, but
Yeah, but you fully embrace the fact that not everybody's going to be perfect, but you don't have to be perfect to achieve some of the things that you want. As long as you continually work to get better and do better than you did the week before, I think that you're proof that you're able to change and basically do whatever you want to do with your health and your fitness. Because like you said, you were 245 pounds, now you're 200. Went from a 2X down to a medium, which is shocking. I didn't realize that linemen came that small. Talk about, why are you so small? Just because you can look at the top of my head doesn't mean I'm small.
Yeah, man. It's nobody's perfect. I don't expect people to be perfect. I count on people to have off days, because it's the off days and how we treat those off days is where we lose our motivation or consistency. It sucks when you go do well for such a long time and you have one slip up and you're like, fuck it, that's it. It's like, no, I mean, just account for it and get back on the horse, understand what you're trying to do, and really just, be okay with being not okay.
That's a great way to put it. And I think that there's going to be a ton more people that are going to be reaching out, maybe not even just for the free consultation, but just in general, because if you follow Jonah's Instagram account and on Facebook, he does post videos, he does have scheduled stuff. You're doing a live tomorrow, right? Talking about kind of similar things that we've been talking about tonight, but you have a good way of mixing up the topics that you talk about, but all the topics that you mention could be applicable not just in fitness, but it's a lifestyle. It's not necessarily just a workout regimen.
Correct.
So there you go.
Yeah, 100%, man. It was great having you on, man. Because I mean, obviously Jimmy's going through a program, but like I feel like just sitting here and getting to know you for the past hour or so, whatever, man. Like I feel like I'm already entrenched in all this already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely probably gonna jump on eventually, but I definitely encourage our listeners to join in with you because, like we said, man, there's gonna be times where you may be down, you want to look toward different things and grow as a person, both physically and mentally, and that'd be a great thing with you. Listeners, definitely look out because we'll probably do monthly sessions with Jonah where we have maybe a snippet of, we jump on a Zoom call, you don't have to come over all the time. Because I you don't want to have to see Jimmy and I's face all the time, but we'll
This
have,
has been fun.
yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
we'll have a snippet or something of maybe, we'll figure out a name, but we'll have a thing monthly with you, and then we'll both be part of our stuff, and you'll get to see Jimmy's through athlete for life program and see how he's going through it all, and then we'll get Jimmy running up and down the floor, and then then everything will be good. So
before I hop off, Jimmy, excuse me, I'm getting this before we hop on the group call on Sunday, but how do you feel so far being almost 2 weeks in?
I'll be honest, the first week, it was a struggle just because it was different. And I think my body kind of was in shock a little bit with everything that I was trying to do because, like I said, I've basically been told just eat as many calories as you can if you want to be stronger and get bigger numbers on your lift, because the more calories and the more energy that your body's able to pull from is different. But now, getting all of the crap out of my system kind of sucked last week, and I did not doing my normal thing, I think, shocked me a little bit. And then this week I've gotten up every single morning to go on a walk before work. Last week I had a couple days where I decided that I needed to sleep in because I was just tired. But now I'm starting to kind of get into a groove. And like I said, my cravings are going away. The workouts are going great. I've been able to hit my step goal for the past few days, which was something that I was struggling with working from home. So it was a struggle at first, but I'm one of those people that always kind of likes to push past the struggle and see what it's like when I get through it. So it's been going well so far. I'll say that it's gotten better, and I've gotten better about the program as well moving forward.
Love it, man.
I think you'll love this story, Jonah, because I got a funny story with Jimmy about his first time that he had to lose weight when I met him.
Oh boy.
So we had to cut weight when we were 6th grade, maybe 7th grade. What was it?
I think it was probably 6th grade.
6th grade, and it was the day before weigh-ins, and Jimmy had to be a single patch because he was a defensive end. And we couldn't have him being a double patch.
We had too many double patches on the team.
Too many double patches on the team. So the double patch means you have to be on the line only. And Jimmy was a DN/linebacker kind of on our defense, and he couldn't have that. So the day before, his family and my family went to my favorite Italian restaurant of all time. And I remember specifically Jimmy sitting in the corner with a salad as all of our families were porking down meatball, homemade Italian food. And I remember seeing that and feeling so bad. But I'm glad now that you're eating a little healthier, and then that we'll never have to have that ever happen again.
No, I'm gonna make sure that I stay on this regimen so that when I go back, because I still haven't eaten at that restaurant. All I had was a glass of ice water and the ice, and I kept having them bring ice chips because I'd rather eat those. But yeah, that wasn't necessarily a losing weight thing. That was a cutting weight thing.
That's so. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Cutting.
I'm glad neither of us will ever have to do that again.
Yeah, me too.
No.
I just got volunteered because I was the coach's kid. They were like, "That's why you're gonna be the one that has to be under your double patch."
Oh man.
You've been telling me to get bigger this whole time. What are you? Fine. Yeah.
I'll eat my salad in anger.
I think I maybe had like a slice of bread with butter on it and gnawed on some ice chips. That's probably about it.
God, I'd blow my brains out.
As his dad is just taking a nice chicken parm and having bread rolls, buttered bread rolls.
I had dinner before this. Now I'm starving, you bastard.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you again for coming on.
Oh, thank you
guys.
We're excited to continue to move forward, have you back on, because I know we can talk about WWE another time, comic books, because I know you're huge into that.
Maybe need to have him on the film room review.
Yeah, we could. I
have
have
him on there.
We do a monthly movie podcast where we kind of just nerd out a little bit, and it was funny because one of the other guys on the network, we were doing another show, and we're like kindred spirits because I'm a super big movie nerd, just all the way back. I love Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. I know they suck. They're not good, but I love them still. And it was kind of like, wow, you're a nerd. I'm a nerd. Let's get together and nerd out. So yeah, if you're interested, I'm
Yes.
sure Carlos would be all for that.
Yes.
That would be a Zoom, so you could stay in your house with your husky, your wife. You know.
And I'll bring her next time.
Yeah, I'm sure she could have come.
I mean, I wouldn't have hated it at all. I love dogs. I mean, I'm not against that at all.
Everybody loves dogs, and when we get the Twitch thing up and running, we'll be reaching out to you as well because I know you're into video games and all that kind of stuff. But
I'm down with the sickness, man.
mm-hmm.
I love that pun.
Like he said, follow Jonah Mitchell _fitness on Instagram. Follow at FEOTB Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and then tag us when you're listening to the episode so that we know that you listened to the episode, and Jonah will give you a free consultation.
If you guys missed all the details and everything, we'll be posting that too on Instagram and Twitter too. So you'll probably be seeing this video. Just check the details. We'll have all that.
And with that, this has been the Far End of the Bench with Jonah Mitchell Fitness. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace!
All right.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a
That
lot
was
of fun.
so fun. God, time fucking flies. I was like, fuck. I've been talking for like 10 minutes, and then I look down, it's almost fucking 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was dope.
Alright, well, it definitely got the first 8 minutes of it. So.
First video.